Hello to the Kuel Life community. I'm excited to be here and be talking to you about business self-care. We all hear about self-care as owners all the time, but we're going to talk today about what you can do for your business in terms of self-care for your business and some ways that you can move your business forward and start making more money on your business. So let's get right in. Step number one is identify your ideal client. And some of you are rolling your eyes because you hear that from marketers all the time. So what does that have to do with business self-care? Well, what it does is it makes it easier for you to market your message because you're only talking to one person. And you hear all this also all the time that just because your dream client or ideal, I call them dream clients, not ideal clients, just because your dream client is this doesn't mean that this other person over here that doesn't have quite the same characteristics is not someone that you can work with. All you're doing is looking for a set of specifications that would be ideal to work with. And, all of us have those, all of us know who they are, but really sit down and identify them so that you can talk to them in your marketing message. And that will go a long way in your business and go a long way in your business self-care. Number two is don't be all things to all people. Not too long ago, I had a client ask me if I would add this service to my business. Well, I just didn't have any other call for it. So it didn't make sense from a business perspective for me to add it. I own a website design agency and we design websites for small businesses. And this was just something so far out in left field that yes, we could do it for her, but it was not something we're going to add to a service because it just didn't make sense. So we did it for that one client, but I didn't make it part of my process. So there's a very fine line. It just didn't make sense. And, and unfortunately it was expensive for her because that's the only one that we were doing and she didn't want somebody else to do it. So yeah, but we didn't, don't be all things to all people. Evaluate what's going to make sense for your business from a time perspective, from a dollars perspective. And in this particular case, I happen to have somebody on my team that could do this for her. It wasn't, training up or training out. It just didn't make sense to add it to our book of business. Number three, hire before you're ready. It's a scary thing for most business owners to talk about bringing team members on. But the good news is for a lot of us, there's so many options available that we're not talking about adding somebody on a 20-hour or 40-hour per week basis, which can be quite scary because as an employee, there's a lot of things that you have to do with an employee in your business. But the gig economy is great. You can go out and you find somebody that can do just project work in this particular area. Or you can bring on a freelancer that's going to work for you on a limited time basis that, if things don't work out well, you can go find another one. It also gives you the freedom of establishing a good relationship with a working freelancer as part of your team that can really get to know your business, but still work with other clients too. So you aren't their sole source of income, nor do you have that pressure of being a sole source of income, because sometimes it can be rather, there's a lot of pressure to when you have an employee. So this takes away some of that pressure for us small businesses. Along with that, number four is start your processes and record your processes. So self-care in terms of processes can be, making sure that you go in and fill in and backfill if you don't have processes in place. Step by step, what do you do in this situation, especially for things that you do over and over again? And I put this right after hire because this is a great way that you can bring somebody into your team by taking over a process that you do over and over again. And you want to be very clear when you do this. I heard a great example the other day of someone describing to a 4-year-old how you make a peanut butter sandwich. They were telling them step by step, okay, you put the peanut butter on the bread when you make a sandwich. Well, the little 4-year-old picked up the jar of peanut butter and put it on the loaf of bread. he put the peanut butter on the bread. But we all know that that's not what they meant. So be sure to be very clear, because things that are really obvious to you may not be obvious to somebody else. But if you start planning your process now, when you get ready to have team, it will make life so much easier for you. Trust me on this one. I know, because I didn't do this for a long time, and now I'm trying to go back in and backfill, and get all that, like the Harry Potter where he takes the thought, and Dumbledore puts it in the basin for later, comes back and retrieves it. That's what you want to do, is do stuff like that. Number 5, plan where you're going. This is something that as business owners we do, but we don't do, or we don't go far enough with our planning. My goal this year is to have 12 private marketing clients. So what I did was I went to, I said, this is my goal. How am I going to do that? How am I going to make that happen? What are the steps that I'm going to reverse engineer to say, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. And this will lead me to this goal. So if you've got a big goal in your business, if you go ahead and plan for it and reverse engineer it, then that will be a big step in business self-care, and will be a big step in actually achieving that goal. Is don't start from where from step 1, start at the end and work your way backwards. So don't start at step 1, start at the end and work your way backwards. Number 6, I think it's number 6, have an accountability partner and a mastermind, a trusted mastermind. My accountability partner and I have been together for 3.5 years. We talk virtually every week. We've missed some here and there on vacations and stuff like that, but for the most part, we talk every week. And one of the things that I say that makes us so successful is, when we started 3.5 years ago, we really didn't know each other. So we were able to sit down and have an honest conversation and say, this is what I need. This is where I need help. This is where I'm going to need you to hold me accountable. And this is what I don't want, which is the hardest part of it. Is all the other stuff is pretty easy. Here's what I want. Here's what I need you to hold me accountable. We all do that. But here's what I don't want. And if you're establishing a new relationship, that's easy to say. But when you know somebody really well, that's a little harder, because what if that is not them? So you have that freedom to say, I don't know if I can not do that. So let's go find somebody else, because it's not a fit. You need it to be a really good fit if you're going to establish a good relationship. And the second part of that is have a trusted mastermind group. And I'm calling it mastermind because it's kind of loosely what it is. Our group, there's 4 of us that we meet every week. One of them is my accountability partner. We all kind of came together. We met in a business group, and we meet every week. What's made us successful is we make it a priority that, there are times when some of us have missed, or there's times when things have happened and we haven't been able to be there. But for the most part, we make it a priority. And I can think of very few times that we all haven't been there. But what we do is we help each other. We bring stuff up with the group. We talk through the group. And we've learned over the years that we're really good at copy with each other. So if we have something, like if we want somebody to workshop our bio, or if we want to workshop an email that we're going to send out, or new website copy, or, give me honest feedback about this. I just recently had a headshot made, and I was like, so they gave me honest feedback on the headshot, but it cemented what I was thinking about, because I trusted them and I knew that they would give me good advice. And sometimes you have to hear tough stuff in a very loving way. So that is really what we do for each other. And as women, sometimes that's, we have to think about that. It's done in a very loving way. So, find yourself a group of advisors. They don't have to be in the same industry. In fact, it's probably preferable that they aren't. We have somebody in our group that's an aging specialist that makes you look 10 years younger. We have a pain specialist that helps you with pain. There's an energy specialist that helps you around the energy of money and unblocking your profits. And then there's me, that I do marketing and website design. So we're all very different with our businesses, but we come together with our strengths. So find that group. Take advantage of technology. There is a lot of great technology out there that if you're not taking advantage of it, it can make your life and your business so much easier, and is really a good way to self-care your business. And I'll give you a good example. There's one of them is the calendar. If you don't have a calendar system set up, go ahead and set one up. They're easy to set up. They're really inexpensive, and it makes working with you so much easier. I had someone the other day that wanted me to be a guest on their Facebook Live, and she sent me a spreadsheet. I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't, then I have to go look and see what dates are available, and I have to go look up. I mean, it was just, it's a little thing, but it was a big thing to me because I had to stop what I was doing and go work in a different system that I was not used to. Most everybody I work with has calendars. So if you don't have one, go get one. They're, $10, $15 a month, depending on the system that you choose, and it will save you a lot. The second thing is something that I've just discovered, or I've known about it for a while, but I really haven't used it. And this is my commitment over the next, month to 6 weeks, is to really learn how to use it. It's called Text Expander. And what this is a free version that you can add to your email system, or I guess it goes anywhere. I don't know yet, but you can type in a short code that you assign, and it will pre-fill URLs. It will pre-fill your bio if you're a speaker. It will pre-fill emails that you send all the time. And all you have to do is type in this little starter code, and it will fill the whole thing in for you. Amazing. So I'm going to go learn more about that, because that's something new that I'm going to add to my business and save myself time, because it seems like I do the same emails over and over and over again, and this will save me time. Number 8, always be learning. As business owners, we get so caught up that we forget that we have to learn. And one of my business coaches says it takes reading 100 books to make you an expert. And I'm there. I've read, because I'm a vivid reader. I love to read, and I love to read business books, which just makes me weird. I know. I also like Nora Roberts. So, hey, but business books really can expand your horizon. And whether you listen to them on Audible or you physically read them, but you get different points of view. You always learn. One of the most recent ones I read was Matthew McConaughey's Green Light. And I call that a business book because, oh my gosh, I really wasn't expecting much. That was a great book. I learned so much from a business perspective that it's amazing. And I don't have time to go into it today, but go read it. I'd love to know what you think. I also read books. I read branded books. There's a lot of, if you're on Amazon and you're on Kindle Unlimited, there's a lot of branded books on Kindle Unlimited that are free. You kind of have to overlook some of the, the pitchy part of it, because typically branded books are a little pitchy. They tend to be, but you still get good information. The other place to get good information is by taking challenges and webinars. And again, they can be a little pitchy, but you still, on most of them, that the trend is to give value. So you still get good value from them. YouTube videos, podcast, listen to podcasts. They're great sources of information, and you can learn. Number 9, take owner time. Owner time and just walking away and not being an employee is sometimes the best self-care that we can do for our businesses. Go, take a cup of hot tea and sit on your deck and just think about where your business is going. Reflect on your business, reflect on where you want it to go. That's not just sitting out enjoying a cup of hot tea. You're letting your subconscious work, and you're almost meditating on your business about what you want it to do, where you want it to go, what you want it to do for you, but just take time away. I love to be around water. So I want to go find a stream or a creek that I can go sit and just enjoy the water and kind of just, think about things and where I want to go. Sometimes it's just as simple as doing a brain dump of, this is all the stuff I got to do. Let me just get it out and, get it on paper, or put it on your do a otter or whatever you need to do to get stuff out of your brain, so you can clear that space for new stuff to come in, and just reflection and meditate. And then the last thing is we can't talk about business self-care without talking about your self-care. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time about it because self-care is such a hot topic. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's, you Google self-care and you'll get a lot of self-care. Get a lot of get good sleep, exercise, eat right. That's all part of our own personal self-care. But as business owners, it's really important so that we can take care of ourselves and then take care of our businesses. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I hope that you can take from this and look at your business with a new sense of perspective. So go take care of your business. Thank you. I'm Lori Lyons with Igniting Your Business and Make Your Marketing Simple. And if you've enjoyed these tips, you're more than welcome to come join us on my private Facebook group, which is called Make Your Marketing Simple, where I talk primarily to business owners that weren't born with smartphones in our hands. We are those over 50 typically that, we want to make sense of all the marketing that's out there today. I also have a podcast coming up called The Encore Entrepreneur, where we talk specifically to those over the age of 50 and share stories, motivation, inspiration for us as business owners. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.